Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever in the world you're watching from, and welcome. It's Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. UK, Ireland, and 3 p.m. Eastern, and this is your favorite 30-minute space for live streaming, digital presence, and powerful connection. I'm Christina Vidovich, the founder of Vidovich Entertainment, YouTuber, podcaster, and host of 3 podcasts. And if you've been following along with this series, you already know my new live stream podcast, Women Getting Visible, starts next week, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK. And tonight, we bring you the final chapter in this fantastic OneStream live series, the Livestream Leap, where we're exploring why podcasts equal trust. And joining me, as ever, is the brilliant, the bold, the always live the brand, live the brand, the one, the only Big Joe Shep, founder of Livestream Solutions, Livestream strategist, and proud brand ambassador for OneStream Live. So don't go anywhere, because this is the Big Joe Show, and we all know there's no show like a Big Joe Show. Welcome, everyone, and let's welcome Big Joe Shep. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the show today.
Oh, I tell you what, that is so absolutely amazing to be on the other side and then be brought in. Well done. Congratulations. That's absolutely superb. I really enjoyed that, actually. I could have just genuinely sat there all night and just listened to you talk on. You're doing so well. But then you're an experienced international speaker, podcaster, and YouTuber, so I don't know why I am surprised at all.
Well, thank you for that, Joe. I am pleased to be sitting in your seat this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon. And what I wanted to do today is take a dive, but let's take a moment and do a rewind in what we've covered so far in the Livestream Leap. Episode 1, we talked about book one guest and get 10,000 followers, exploring how voice builds loyalty and visibility builds reach. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think episode 1 really just reminded us, Christina, that visibility is about shouting louder. Actually, it's about showing up real, being authentic. Booking just one guest isn't about chasing numbers. It's about picking the right individual that fits the scenario the story that you want to tell. It's about creating the kind of moments that spark connection and open doors, really. So, voice builds that loyalty. But when we had the presence there, real-time presence like live streaming, that's when we really start to amplify the message and to grow our reach, really.
Yeah. And episode number 2, we talked about repurposing to get 10x results using the live stream framework that gave us structure, workflow, and the long tail value.
Yeah, this was a big mindset shift for many. I can't even get the words. That was a big mindset shift for many, clearly for my brain as well. We don't need more content. Excuse me. We need smarter systems. So the live stream framework, so LIVESTREAM. And if you want that, by the way, that is still available. I can send that to you. We are going to stick that out, I'm hoping, through OneStream Live as a blog article or a post article at some stage. So the live stream framework gave us a way to take what we already do well and structure it for impact. So that's the secret to 10 times, not doing more, but multiplying the value of every single session, Christina, that you're doing.
Yeah, it's incredible. And our episode 3, we talked about monetize your podcast for revenue. Pink it fast.
I think monetizing the podcast fast. It was excuse me. It was a play on words, and it was a lot of people came back to us and said, "It was like, well, you said it's fast, but it's not that fast. Nothing's fast. If you want fast, you're cutting corners. You're buying viewers. You're buying engagement. You can't get that, not properly. That's the sort of thing that YouTube are now closing down accounts for. So, you've got to trust that community. Real-time engagement is a pathway to know me, like me, trust me. And building your core, your call to action. So when episode 2 gave us the structure, really episode 3 gave us purpose. Talk about live streaming in real time, bringing energy, interactivity, and that know me, like me, trust me. It opens the door to that trust. So to invite the audience to go deeper with you, and when they go deeper, they're more likely to then buy a product or service, or they can just show up for next week. So, that was really 3 great episodes. I think we took them through them.
Absolutely. And I love it. There it is, the know me, like me, trust me, which brings us into today, podcast equaling trust. So let's get to it and why we believe that podcasts build trust. We hear someone's voice, we feel like we know them.
Yeah, I think that's it's like already so many people have sort of engaged with me or engaged with you, and then I explain to people it's a bit like a Venn diagram. So there's yourself and everything you do in your networks, 5 hours away in Eastern time, 5 hours behind me in America. Excuse me on this side of the Venn diagram, and then there's the 2 of us together. And I've seen it in LinkedIn, so have you. Different people are following us now who were in each other's camps, if you like to speak, and following and engaging. And I think that's in just a couple of weeks has just shown the credibility that we both have as individuals. And after week 1, people are picking up on the fact that there's the relationship there, there's the joint venture partnerships there. So the spending time on social media, it's been a really, really good exercise, fundamental and foundations of moving into live streaming, showing that you're a real person. You're not just clicking and copying an AI statement, but you're showing that you're real, you're true, you're authentic. And that allows you to be able to have that real engagement. And that's the biggest takeaway that I've seen, is that people on both sides of our own followers who know us, like us, trust us, are now engaging with the others. Excuse me. I've got a girl in Ireland, brilliant, one of the best coaches I've ever come across. And she specializes in emotional intelligence, EQ. So Natasha Hughes. We're working on a project together to get that off the ground as well. And then I was obviously promoting you to her last week, as I've done with you and her and Susie and all the rest that we do. And then she reached out, or one of you reached out to, and I just thought that was fab, because it's that, if it's good enough for Joe or if it's good enough for Christina, then our own audience, our own friends, our own joint venture partners then follow back, because there's that know me, like me, trust me.
Incredible. And I exactly am 100% behind you with that, because the difference, as I'm thinking and seeing, not only are we talking about the audio going to visual and podcasting, but the visual going into the live streaming, making that connection in real time versus just sitting on the computer for that time period before it actually goes out there. And I love that. So my question that I'm going to ask to those out there is, what makes you trust a host enough to go from a passive listener to an active community member and start that engagement with them? So anybody who would like to answer that, just let us know. And let's talk about trust to connection to the revenue. You had mentioned it. We're showing that trust. We're showing that we are a real person that you can communicate with. So then what comes next? The opportunities, that call to action for something bigger and better beyond this screen, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that I go back to before what I said about there's no shortcut to it's not perfection, but there's no shortcut to building the right approach and building the right team. And of course, in a world where we've just been fixated about numbers and chasing that excuse me, that return on investment of numbers and metrics and this and that, actually you get 5 quality people who are then interconnecting from my side to your side. That's 5 quality people. I'd rather have 5 than 20,000. No marks, because actually half of them don't exist. I don't want to sound rude, but they don't exist. It's like again why YouTube is starting to penalize and to close some accounts down, because it's like, well, follow me, and I'll follow you back. It's not real. It's about having that real capability there. Have I answered that properly? I'm not sure. I went off track a little bit there, but then I've only got 2 brain cells, and they're fighting to keep me, because I'm reacting tonight, and it's great because I can think, but then I'm overthinking. So forgive me if I didn't answer your question properly.
Yeah, well, how long have you been hosting your show?
We've been doing the Big Joe show since January this year. I've been a streaming partner and a brand ambassador with OneStream Live since last September, so almost a year already. But I started live streaming about 7 years ago, and literally we started with and built up a series of online rugby chat shows, which was the 3-bod rugby group, and then I also had a little, heart thingy going on where was life was saying slow down a bit, and then we interestingly from that we went into some lifestyle stuff, which was an interesting twist on the back. So 7 years in total I've been doing different things, but it's like when people say, is there a right industry or a right set of people to do this? No, everybody for me, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you're a charity, whether you're a small to medium organization, whether you're a small local business, you can start, and there's a portion of, there's a right plan for starting, because OneStream Live, go from the free plan, the basic, and then the starter, the standard, professional, and then the enterprise, which is just absolutely amazing. And when you look at that, there's something for everybody. And I think that helps, because OneStream Live, when you go up to the enterprise, you can go live to sort of 45 different locations. If you want to, a choice of 45 different locations, depending on the plan, you've got a number of the amount of people you can have in the studio, everything. There's just everything there. So, I've seen such a journey go through. And again, this is why we're always looking steps ahead. OneStream Live are so far ahead for me of anybody else. That's why we're looking at AI with live streaming in next month's show. We'll come back to that later. But yeah, it's been a journey, a very good journey.
Yeah, and what I love is every time we have these conversations, I'm sometimes just sitting here so quietly, just so mentally engaged with the conversation, because what you just said there too, talking about the different levels, from somebody who's just starting to someone who's somewhere in the middle like I am, to being that enterprise.
Yeah, honestly, I have this with a lot of people. It's like, we've already said so you finish this bit now, you're ready to sign up, you're going live next week, so this weekend we'll set you up with your own studio. I don't just give the link out and say, go and sign up if you need anything, because actually you can do that. And OneStream Live have all of the explaining tutorial videos. They've got a blog, they've got everything. Plus, when you go to onestream.live, if you're in the studio, bottom right-hand corner, there's a little red disc with like an envelope on it. That takes you to the customer service team, who are all humans. No bots, all humans, and they know their stuff inside out. I love the 3 directors. I love the head of operations and the head of marketing and stuff, but I have learned so much as a user from the brilliant customer service team that there is nothing like it. So all of those capabilities that are there, don't just give your link out. It's about finding the right part. If you're looking long-term at longevity, I could say, I get the enterprise plan because there's an affiliate link there to me, and the company will, no, that's not the answer. The answer is giving the client you're working with the right tools that they need now to get them going, and looking long-term and not just looking greedy.
And it comes to me.
Sorry, I'm on a rant there, because there's a lot of people in other organizations who do that, and that's like smacks of network marketing for me, and that's not what we do at OneStream Live. That's not what we should be doing as live streamers, Christina.
Yeah, well, and it's also when you're talking about that longevity and podcasting versus live streaming, and this is a question I'd like to even ask out to our audience today, is a twofold. What's stopping you from turning your live stream into that podcast And what's keeping you from starting your podcast and moving into live stream? Because there's really the options of both directions that can really be that much more impactful in what you're out there doing.
Yeah, very, very much. I'm just seeing there from one of the things that people say about why do I look elsewhere? Because although you're hosting this tonight, I'm still doing the back of the studio, which is something that I forgot to think about, because I'd sent you all the stuff, you're hosting it, you're doing all of that, and then I forgot then that I'm still controlling the studio. So I'm looking at Facebook there, because the integrated chat is one of those things that it comes in from different locations and we can reply back to it, blah, 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 blah. But on Facebook, on your personal or professional profile, you can see them, but you can't reply back. So just saying good evening to Lorna O'Dwyer there, and to Karen as well, Karen Fleming, and thank you for everybody who was watching us through. But yeah, I suppose it's just all part of that being real, isn't it? You know, everything about what we do, Christina, should be about longevity. Whether it's our working relationships that we're building with people, whether it's and it's difficult in a business, because in a business people want you to turn over numbers. But actually, whilst we need that ourselves, we need the right people to build that longevity. And that longevity comes back down to the whole repurposing or restreaming capabilities that you get with OneStream Live. So it's all interlinked for me. The whole mindset of that longevity should carry over into the others, if you get my drift.
Yeah, there's so much involved. I mean, and what's incredible is with all of these things, there's so many tools that are available to be used out there. And I'm going to ask our audience once again, and then I'm going to have you talk about it. But what is one of the most important things when it comes to distribution? Is it time saving, being able to go cross-platform, or that automation and scheduling? What is it?
Do you know what? That's a really damn good question, because I take all of those as being a given, because when you're on auto mode and you've been doing this for so long, but actually that's a great thing. I think the next week, as I'm chatting to people about what they're looking for, I suppose it's a bit like when you're trying to, somebody's got an issue, it's like, okay, if I can solve that problem, would that stop you from moving on? So in asking that open-ended question, actually, which when you're busy, we forget a bit of first principles about asking a funnel in question. You know, you're going to get an A and B. If you get an A, then you can take that down. If you get a B, you can take that down. But that's a really, really good point for me to take away, to think about what is the biggest thing that they need.
Yeah. I'm going to sit here and ponder with you. Yeah. Well, and here's a question that I haven't asked, and I know it's been talked about here and there, is where are we live streaming right now, this moment?
Right. So tonight's show, we are going out on OneStream Live on YouTube. And don't forget, go to OneStream Live on YouTube and subscribe and get all the latest updates. I can't tell you how much great stuff. I'm not blowing smoke up their proverbials, because they're so bloody good. That's why they got over 2 million people involved around the globe. So OneStream Live on YouTube. We're going now to Livestream Solutions on YouTube as well. We're going out to OneStream Live on LinkedIn. We're going out to Joe Shepherd on LinkedIn as well. It's been reshared into a number of different groups. It's been reshared through your network as well. We're going out on Facebook on my professional profile. And it is going out therefore on yours, because I've tagged you in. Again, all points all coming back, and it's going out live on my website as well. Specifically only did those for this evening, but you know, it can go whole pile of other locations should you want it to be. Excuse me. But it's looking at where you want it to go. They're the key ones, and there for me, that's what works really, really well, because you're hitting, that's manageable, Christina. You can put them out, click one button, it all goes out, and that's manageable before the show, and it's manageable during the show because things are coming in when they come in, and it's manageable afterwards to do your follow-up, which is the follow-up. It's all about the follow-up.
Yeah, and immediately right there, you said to me what I consider the top three. The YouTube, the second largest search engine in the world. Facebook, huge community of people who are looking for connections and friends and family who are already connected, as well as all of the platforms for businesses available there. And LinkedIn as a professional site, but that I hear that know me, like me, trust me on LinkedIn every day. And this to me is a great way to show through LinkedIn, who am I? I'm not just looking at my profile, but I have an opportunity to check out this right now, but to watch it again later. And that's the showing up more than once, letting your show work twice as hard for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the beauty of live streaming is that it's not just a moment. It's a what we call a force multiplier. So you do something once, it goes back to what we said in was episode 2, isn't it? 10 times. One stream can become a replay. So generally, unfortunately, it was away on Sunday evening, and I hadn't planned to be, but normally we would then so this Sunday, for example, I'll re-show this again, because again, it goes into different groups on the Sunday evening. It goes at a slightly different time into those for that reason. You can go download the file and put it into a podcast, a short clip, a quote card, a knowledge hub, blog article as well. They're all going into different areas, different reaches. So again, you're throwing mud at different walls. Some of those things will stick, and it all leads back to you. That's the whole thing. Live streaming as a service is the core stuff that we do, and then everything else that comes from that, the repurposing. But without OneStream Live, without live streaming, we can't do that. So when we think about longevity, it's not all about the algorithms. It's about your legacy. Let your voice keep working for the brand long after you've gone off air, and there are practical tools there to be able to sort of distribute and promote what you're doing. So we're not saying to people on this Livestream Leap, forget podcasting. What we're saying is actually transition across, because live streaming is the here and now, and it will be staying for the future. But then use the live stream to reverse, to podcast that back down as well.
And let your message become your momentum, because it's there. Yeah. And I think about back in the old days.
I'm not clever enough to come up with things like that. That's why I like having guests on, because I don't have to. People are far smarter than me. That's why I try and get OneStream Live on. That's why I've got you on this month. I've got Susan next month. I don't even have to think then. I've just got clever people who are doing the work with me, which is lovely.
Well, and the fact that you can watch or restream, that's another thing you taught me about, is not only just putting it out there, but the chance to restream and be present, because more people are engaging with you beyond, because maybe they can't be here for this time, but they can be there at another time that you've set.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you looked at, you're 5 hours behind me in the States on Eastern time. So, Europe may be, 1 hour ahead of us. South Africa maybe 2 hours ahead. Or my rugby show tomorrow night, the Lions tour. Well, they're 9 hours ahead. And people are going, so, and already, it's going to be over the first 6 weeks of the Lions tour. So it's the final episode tomorrow. But some people have been staying up for it. Quite a lot of people have been staying up for it because it's quite a big thing. I mean, if you think there was 90-odd thousand there at Melbourne Cricket Down for Test 2 last weekend. So people are up at 5 a.m. and they're watching, early starters before they then go to work. Other people, because it stays there, like this stays there, people will watch it as and when. We know that, people say about, well, Facebook, I still get asked, how do you get your numbers when you've only got 4,600, whatever it is, ridiculous numbers following you? It's because the way I distribute it out, because I have spent 6-7 years building that social capital of groups. Not everybody likes me, clearly not. 8 billion people in the world or whatever it is, and only one big Joe Shep. It's only fair that everybody gets the opportunity, at least. I keep telling people that. I mean, look at this brightness. I mean, but in all seriousness, you put the things out at different times, and then people will watch them. But then don't be afraid to reshare it again. I have had some times when we put different shows on, people saying, well, you put this on the other day, or this was on yesterday. One of the things with Facebook, here you go, here's the thing. One of the things about Facebook is now that it's an event, you can share the event, but people still don't like clicking in. So they want to watch live. So when it goes live, we then have to redistribute it live because it's playing straight away. But these are the things that are changing, and this is how you get your additional numbers. It's not just do one thing and hope it's going to go, you're putting it out there and you're doing the hard graft to build the foundations with people. You've done that yourself, your whole career, dancing and podcasting, and now this.
Yeah, and I just have to say I have learned so much from you again. And this series has been a game changer for me because, well, guess what? You'll never guess. On Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK, we're going to start the Women Getting Visible with OneStream Live. And I will be live streaming my first show next Wednesday, every Wednesday, because of what you have taught me and you have brought me along this journey. And well, there's one thing I know. Our shows happen to be at the same time. And I don't know, maybe our audiences will overlap. People who want to watch some high-performing women and some rugby at the same time. But if not, they can always replay us, right?
Yeah. I mean, my this current rugby series finishes tomorrow night on Wednesday. The following week, I've got one. But you see, it doesn't matter because the different streamers, when we all support each other, so that's why we try and encourage people to have your daily, your weekly, your monthly, your quarterly program. What is your strategy for your business? These should fit into it. It then allows you then to be able to redistribute other people's stuff. One of the reasons why myself and Susie Manley are starting the Insight Exchange channel is that we've got eventually we've got a 24/7, if you like, TV channel on YouTube to begin with, and then elsewhere. But we can put other people's shows on, and it doesn't have to be a great amount to be able to people to buy a slot on that. But that then crosses over. But again, it's people. It's that know me, like me, trust me. In the same way, we finish the show going back to what we said at the beginning, where your followers, the people who know you, like you, trust you, the people who know me, like me, trust me, or in my case, some people are just curious, I think, but where they cross over and are now following each other and engaging with each other, we're finishing the show talking about the same thing we started with, and that for me means that we've completed the circle, Christina.
And right here, we've done the things that are important to me when it's telling a story, giving value, and keeping people hooked to the end, because Joe, when you talk, I'm going to listen to the end. But now this is my end, and I'm going to hand it back over to you with a big thank you.
Oh, no, thank you is all mine. There would have been some people, who maybe wouldn't have gone down this road of when you're trying to teach somebody, almost doing a show and tell. But this being able to allow you to be part of this as part of your learning, to actually, and this is another thing, is I'm conscious of the time now. Is it the right thing for you? I think what we do with OneStream Live is it allows people to people who have never done any podcasting or streaming. It allows them to it separates off those who want to from those who think they want to, because there is no shortcut to excellence. The studio, the company is excellent. That's why they are the leaders in their game, and I think being able to do this with you shows what we can do with other people as well. So it is a huge thanks for me to be able to bring somebody like you on that journey. What I want people to do now is go to onestream.live. In fact, we have even got, there we go. Let me just stick that up there. That is the Big Joe Show link. If you want to join, excuse me, if you want a 30-minute look-see around the studio with myself, one of the team from OneStream Live or Livestream Solutions, then you can do that. And you actually, if you use that link, you get to work directly with myself. If you want that free 30-minute look-see session, then contact us. Look, we're everywhere. OneStream Live is everywhere. But simplest enough is click on that link that will go through. Contact the good people at OneStream.live, customer service, and say, I need to get a hold of Big Joe Shep, all of his team, and they will put you directly in touch with me. Actually, they put you directly in touch with me to begin with, and that is absolutely fine. So we look at the whole live streaming idea, what it is you're looking for, those questions that you asked before, Christina. What is the greatest need that we can help them with? So the conclusion of our 4-part series, the Livestream Leap, it's been great. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm really, really happy to see how you progress now with your next event. But just briefly before we go, I know we're over time, tell people about your event that's coming up in October. Forgive me if I got the dates wrong.
Yes, October 10, 11, 12 in Washington, D.C. Join me for the Women Getting Visible show and conference, where we will have an opportunity to showcase women on stage, build community to help women in their visibility journey.
Superb. Next Tuesday, I start a brand new 4-part series for OneStream Live for the month of August, 8 p.m. UK and Ireland, and it's available on Catch Up. And there will be a playlist coming out this weekend, as ever, from our friends at OneStream Live. That will be on the YouTube channel. And next week, we start looking at AI and its part in live streaming and digital engagement. And let me tell you, this is going to be a step up. If people are afraid of AI, and we'll show you how simple it can be. Now, this month's coming series will be hosted by myself and Susie Manley, who runs the founder of the 5 Foot Rope Group in Brisbane in Australia. Let me just stick up. There we go. We got a thumbnail for next week. So that's 4 parts. That's Susie. And Susie, let me tell you, is there we go. Susie is 9 hours ahead of me in Brisbane. So Christina's 5 hours behind me one way. It's a 14-hour. Don't tell me that you can't make it work with the right person on the right joint venture. Okay. And we've also got some very, very special guests coming up in episode 3 and 4. I'm trying to get the CEO of OneStream Live on. You'll be watching this tonight going, Jesus, well, hasn't even got me diary yet. So, Hanan, sorry, mate, but his thoughts on AI and where he's taken the company, it's just beyond visionary. Let me tell you, you talk about thought leaders, that is a man I could sit and listen to all day on. In episode 3, we're going to have the great Stephen Healy, who really taught me, and he is going to introduce AI characters, hosts, and that's going to blow your mind. So there we go. So go to YouTube, please, OneStream Live, and subscribe. Remember, podcasting builds trust. Live streaming builds your presence, and together you will create something that's really bloody unstoppable. So for myself, thanks for being here for a brilliant 4-part series. Christina, huge thank you. It has been great.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to us.
And we'll see you next Tuesday. You can see Christina's new show here, powered by OneStream Live on Wednesday. Until then, this is the Big Joe Show. And we all know there's no show like a Big Joe Show. See you soon.
Did you know that over 80% of internet traffic is video content? So if your brand isn't using video marketing, you're already falling behind. Short-form videos are ruling social media. Live streaming is driving real-time